Magic Mike XXL, starring Channing Tatum, Joe Manganiello, Amber Heard, with appearances by Jada Pinkett Smith, Elizabeth Banks, and Donald Glover. The sequel to the Steven Soderbergh film from 3 years before, although this one is not directed by Soderbergh, even though he was the cinematographer still, which was, an interesting point. We meet back up with Mike enjoying his retirement from the stripping job and running his custom furniture business. One day he gets a message from his former friends. They're in town for the weekend on their way to this big stripper convention. And apparently Matthew McConaughey's character has ditched them, left for China, and so they all decided to quit the business once and for all. But before that, do this one last ride. Mike ends up joining them on the road trip and helping each of the team members, get confidence both for their upcoming dance and for their future plans. So, the original Magic Mike was a fairly good movie, in my opinion, and it surprised me, especially by being an unexpectedly serious drama. This movie is a completely different beast. It's essentially that sports film where you have a team of underdogs find their inner confidence, recruit various helpers along the way, and win the competition through the power of friendship. With bits of rom com and breakup movies sprinkled in as well, plus a fair amount of just strip dancing, which this time around is much more present, but also much more surface level. I feel like. I mean, the entire last 25 minutes or so is just the stripping solos, one after another. So it's not necessarily that it's a bad movie in and of itself, but it is jarringly disappointing how much of a step down it is from the original. It's definitely more shallow, less ambitious, more of a popcorn movie, this comfort film where everyone is cool, every problem is easily resolved, and there is no tough drama or conflict. As a result, I think that certain audiences would still enjoy it very much for what it is, but I just don't fall into those audiences. I was pretty bored for a lot of the runtime. I thought that the writing was worse than the last time for the most part, and failed to engage me on an emotional level, with any of the characters really. On the other hand, I have to admit the physical aspect of the performances is still top notch. All the guys are great at the dancing slash stripping numbers, in particular Channing Tatum, who is kind of known for his talents in this regard. I also liked how each of the final performances ties into the personal dreams and desires for each of the guys. That was, I felt it was a nice and wholesome touch. But it's all just, it's not enough. There's some humor, there's some lighthearted road trip stuff, and a ton of eye candy for the ladies or for the guys. I'm not judging. It just lacks anything deeper underneath that, and this to me is quite disappointing.